As we build up to the Champions Trophy, we talk about a team India will be playing in the group stage. Also happens to be a team that Siddharth Vishwanathan is more fond of than any other team. We're talking about New Zealand, in case you didn't know. Siddharth Vishwanathan to my right, Siddharth Gulati to my left, as we look at this New Zealand team that has just won the Tri-Series.
Yep, after a gap of nearly 22 years, they have managed to win a major tournament involving Pakistan. I mean, I remember 2003, they won
By the way,
Gambula.
you didn't even correct me when I said that this is the team that you like the most.
They're a gentleman team.
You've admitted that.
Yeah. I mean, see, they're a gentleman team, and let's make no mistake about it. They are the ultimate dark horses heading into the Champions Trophy because...
No, are they really the dark horses or are they really one of the hot favourites?
I don't call them hot favourites for a simple reason. One, see, whenever New Zealand come into any ICC event, they will give a fight. But they do stumble at some moments. I mean, look at it. It's Asia. They haven't had that much of success in Asia. Yes, this Tri-Series win is kind of bucking that trend. But you look at it. They are going to play Pakistan yet again. Now, Pakistan will be determined. We don't lose 3 on the trot to them. So they face that challenge. Number 2, remarkably, they are going to face India after 25 years in the Champions Trophy.
That's as
Last time
nutty
was the
as it
ICC
gets.
knockout final.
2000, the start of the 21st century, yes. India were in a new era altogether. Yuvraj Singh had come, Zahir Khan had come, everybody. It was like young and old meeting together. New India was coming out. But it was the Kiwis. Those doggone Kiwis ensured that, yes, Chris Cairns on one leg won them that knockout. It was their first ever ICC trophy to beat India. Now, 25 years later, on March 2, you're going to face them in Dubai. But why I don't call them the hot favorites and I call them the dark horses is because of their record in Asia. And look at the squad that is there now. Currently, 2 players are injured. If I have to look at the major strength... Rachin and Lockie. They are injured. We don't know what is the status of the injuries, but they are not out of the squad yet. The only individual who's out of the squad is Ben Sears, replaced by a 30-year-old right-arm pacer, Jacob Duffy. Now, Duffy has shown good pace, and that is why the inexperience of the pace bowling lineup is their weakness. But if I have to look at the strength of the New Zealand team, it is 50-50. Strength is compensated by the weakness, unfortunately, in a tragic way. Why? Mitchell Santner. I think you thought MS Dhoni was Captain Cool. This guy is Captain Ice. Mitchell Santner. I don't think nothing ruffles him in that sense. The batting is looking in decent touch. You got Kane Williamson in good form. And remember the 2024 T20 World Cup, he was woeful. Williamson. The strength for me is Williamson's form, Mitchell's stability, Latham coming back to form, Devon Conway also showing good touch. But it is then over.
Will Young also.
Will Young. I mean, remember, Will Young was the player of the series for New Zealand and they had a 3-0 sweep in India.
Yeah.
So, New Zealand are kind of turning their tide in Asia. 3-0 in India, winning the Tri-Series in Pakistan. Can they do a 25-year repeat in the Champions Trophy? My one Achilles heel with them is the bowling. Pace bowling. Will O'Rourke showed good form.
You're missing Trent Bolt and Tim Southee, huh?
How are you going to recover from that? Of course, Bolt and Southee may have past their prime in 2024, maybe, but still experience counts here. And that's why, if you look at 17, if you look at 13, why New Zealand didn't perform, it was because their bowlers didn't step up to the plate. And looking at it, the inexperience of Nathan Smith, Jacob Duffy, Will O'Rourke alone just cannot manage.
Also, he's no player with 50-odd matches under his belt yet. He's still early days.
It's a very inexperienced bowling lineup, barring a Santner and a Glenn Phillips, which is why I think your batting may be good, but your bowling, except for the spinners, it's very dodgy. Forget a Will O'Rourke, which is why I think they are not the hot favourites, but they are one of the contenders, a dark horse for me.
The one thing I will say before I come to whether they make it to the semis or the finals for me or where I place them, I must say that New Zealand look one of the better teams out there, and the thing about them is they are well-rounded. Look at the bases. Siddharth beautifully summed up how the squad looks like. But when I look at it, I think they've got bases covered. Yes, there's bit of an inexperience in the pace bowling department. You've got new pacers. But Matt Henry can be very good. You saw that in the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
You have been seeing it across formats from him, in fact. So a lot of responsibility will be on Matt Henry. Will O'Rourke has shown his promise. But the batters and everyone coming together, there is not. And they bat very deep. when you make their 11, you see they're batting till number 8. They can make it 9 as well if they. And when we try and make them 11, you'll see that maybe they can have a batting option at 9 also. But at number 8 in the lineup that we have in mind, the rough lineup, if you have in mind, they have Mitchell Santner, their captain, coming in at number 8, and we know that he's one of the better spin bowling all rounders in this tournament, if not the best. So very well rounded side. There's experience at the top. There is firepower as well. Mitchell can change gears. So can Kane Williamson, Rachin Ravindra as well. Whenever that we see him play, so very well rounded side. And I don't think many teams have the kind of roundedness, the well roundedness that this New Zealand team has.
Yeah, I think talk about their maybe top 6 or so. You have Devon Conway probably opening with a fully fit Rachin Ravindra, Kane Williamson, Daryl Mitchell, Tom Latham, Glenn Phillips, and obviously I think at some moment there's probably going to be a game time for someone like a Mark Chapman also.
Michael Bracewell
for that matter. It is easily one of the best top 6 or top 7 that you have in Champions Trophy. Easily one of the best. I don't see many teams really coming very close to
second
this kind
best,
of
I would say.
After India, maybe.
Second or
After
third.
India, yeah.
That's why I said one of the best.
Also, can I just add over there the
Yeah.
one thing you say with Indian batters as well. The same can be said about a lot of these 6 players, 7 players that form the top half or that form the batting unit, is that this is their preferred format as well.
Yes.
They know their game. They know that it's not Test cricket. It's not T20 cricket where you expect it to play in a certain gear. Here, the formula is there. Like the Indian batters have the formula, they have the pattern that ODI cricket so often follows. India know what their winning mantra is, so do these batters. Their batters are the real strength, I feel, New Zealand, and there is quality in there. You can ask a Kane Williamson, you can trust him, if they're 32 for 3, you can trust him to grind, play a gritty knock. The same can be said for a Daryl Mitchell as well. So very good, very rich as far as experience is concerned, and you've got batting till number 8.
Yeah.
If you've got if you've got a Santner coming in at number 8, that just tells you how good a batting unit you formed.
True. I think if we talk about the strengths that New Zealand have, obviously apart from their batting, I think it's easily their captain. We talked about Pakistan in case of Rizwan, that he is one of their strengths. In case of New Zealand also, I think I would add +1 to it, because Mitchell Santner, as Siddharth also clearly mentioned, he's turning out to be an ice cool captain. No wonder he has been under the shadows of someone like MS Dhoni, for that matter,
Yes,
in
in
CSK.
CSK,
He
yeah.
hasn't really played many matches for CSK, but then he was a part of their setup for a long time. Maybe would have learned a few tricks from him. I think his bowling is going to be more crucial to New Zealand here. Because you look at the Tri-Series final also, at one stage, the figures of Mitchell Santner read 8 overs for 15 runs. That's about it.
He ended with 2 for 20 in 10 overs.
Yeah, how many times do you really, see a bowler containing and towards the end, picking up wickets also? So I think he's definitely going to be the X factor for New Zealand. Weakness, I think once again, it's their bowling. But then, the inexperience in bowling, but what it also means is that there is an unpredictability factor. Let's just go back to 2013. You talk about some of India's players that they had in Champions Trophy. Dhawan was still very new. Murli Vijay was very new to the ODI lineup. There was also a comeback for Irfan Pathan. Umesh Yadav was relatively new to the ODI format. Bhuvneshwar Kumar also. Ishant Sharma was the only one who was the experienced campaigner, and that was the first full-fledged ICC tournament for Ravindra Jadeja. For Ashwin, it was obviously the second or the third one, First one was 2011, second 2012 and 2013. So, I think for India also, there was a lot of inexperience factor, but then they went on to win the tournament with the kind of unpredictability that they had attached to their team. Same can very well be said in case of Willow Root, Nathan Smith, Jacob Duffy also. So, I think New Zealand, overall, they're 15. They really look one of the strongest.
I know that
sides.
there is a Matt Henry. I know that Matt Henry could be there, but then he didn't play in most of the games in the Tri-Series.
Yeah.
Which is why I think winning with this depth sends out a very strong message to their opponents. And remember, this is a lottery kind of a system in which New Zealand often thrive in. But then same like Australia, like all the other teams, they've not had a good Champions Trophy. 13 they didn't do well, 17 they didn't do well, 17 they lost to Bangladesh in fact, which knocked them out, and that's why Bangladesh came into the semi-final.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when you look at it, Rachin Ravindra and Lockie Ferguson, I don't know about their fitnesses. If Lockie is there, if Henry is there along with Willow Rourke, then man, this bowling unit raises up a notch along with a Santner and a Phillips. But I don't know about the injury status of Lockie Ferguson, which is why I'll have to reserve my judgment that if he's not there, if Henry is not picked, then I think the New Zealand pace bowling attack, you can't rely entirely on Willow Rourke. That's the main problem. So that's why batting and captaincy could help them win, but New Zealand are the only team among several others who are going to two different countries. They are playing in Pakistan also, they're going to play in Dubai also.
Yeah.
So that is why it's very, very important that they adapt well. New Zealand, if you look at it, Mitchell Santner, India will know him very, very well. Forget CSK. Pune Test, 13 wickets.
Oh, yeah.
Won you the series there, single-handedly. So that is why Santner is your A+ captain.
No,
at
alongside
this point.
Scott Boland, he is one of the major reasons why some of the stalwarts are returned to domestic cricket.
Indeed. So
if I was to go and list, let's say, one weakness and one strength of this New Zealand side, I think the strength, yes, batting you've already mentioned, and I totally agree. Just to make a different point, maybe, while I totally agree, batting is there. I think one cannot look past the fact that you will have a Glenn Phillips and a Santner bowl in the middle overs. Plus, you will have somebody like Bracewell also chip in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it is a very good combination to have.
3 pacers and 3 spinners.
3 pacers, 3 spinners you have.
Same
and
like India, 3
quality.
pacers, 3 spinners,
It's
yeah.
not like, this is a Glenn Phillips who will just who just has the ability to roll his arm over. He can give you a good couple of breakthroughs as well, as we've seen in the past. So I think it's the middle overs, especially being led by a Mitchell Santner. That is going to be the key for New Zealand.
2 off spinners and a left armour are the key in that middle overs. Bracewell is also a good bowler, but he's also a fantastic fielder.
Yes.
Glenn Phillips is Superman in the field. Santner is also excellent in the field. The fielding also, let's make no mistake, New Zealand are a very... Of course,
Nathan Smith.
in the final, they dropped catches. That could hurt them. Crucial moments,
Yeah.
New Zealand seem to turn down. That is why I think in this Champions Trophy, if they want to go ahead, overcoming their inexperience in the bowling lineup, they have to field well.
Yeah, the weakness, I was coming to that only. The weakness for me also is in the pace bowling department. A little short of experience, and they're a team in transition. When you talk about the pace bowling department, you just in about a couple of months' time, you can't have replacements for Trent Bolt and Tim Southee overnight. It is going to take time. So this is going to be a good outing, I feel, for this New Zealand bowling lineup. They did well in the India series, as we know. They've done well in the Tri series as well. But I still feel as a well-rounded unit, and we can just close this now. Whether they make it past the group stage, I think it is a definite yes that this New Zealand team is going beyond the group stage for me.
+1 to Harshit.
+2. Because I had anyway said Pakistan are not going through.
Yeah.
Which is why I think India and New Zealand will be the 2 teams to make it. But it's going to be it won't be an easy progress for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they have lost, except against India, and remarkably, they have not lost to Pakistan also in the Champions Trophy. In
Yeah.
2000, they beat them. In 2009 semi-final, they beat them.
And let's just not forget that what happened the last time New Zealand met Bangladesh in a Champions Trophy match.
Oh man, let's not talk about that. 2017, they got hammered in Sophia Gardens.
Yeah.
So that's why, yes, I see India and New Zealand as the 2 teams to make it in this group. Pakistan anyway had countered them. So yes, +2 to all in that sense.
Okay, you will let us know in the comment section where you see this New Zealand team go in the leadership of Santner. The 3 of us feel they're definitely going past the group stage. Giving them company will be the Indian team. But you can let your opinion be told to us in the comment section. Subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't done so already.
Bye-bye.